The dream started with an unanswered question about what it would look like to have a perfect boat for me and my family, and one that I can sail with as much convenience and pleasure, combined with the idea of a very strong aesthetical sort of statements. There's a huge choice in the world of fabulous boats to choose from. Bizarrely, the conjunction between a very reliable, very well engineered machine and something incredibly beautiful that everyone recognized as an instant classic. There didn't seem to be anything that I set my eyes on that would do it for me. And so we started thinking collectively about what would be, what that would look like, this dream from an engineering, from an aesthetic, from an ergonomics perspective, if we would try to combine these things. The start of the process of this project was a conversation during lockdown times with Herbert, one of the founders. I got in touch with them and explained over video what it is that I was looking for. It was a good first conversation, and I thought it's going to be a very quick one, because either they try to sell me something that they've already done, and that will be the end of that exchange, or it will take an interest in what I'm looking for. And of course, it was the latter. Herbert understood exactly what he was looking for. I think himself, I gather, was looking for a project that would bring engineering of the highest quality, craft, unbelievable craft that he's bringing with his team, but a certain vision as well, and a certain courage. Because what we're doing here is attacking icons of maritime heritage, not just any boat we're taking. It's a boat that is very well known. And therefore I thought it's such a fine line. I'm either going to find somebody I can work with or not. And it was, and of course it worked. It worked very well. There were great moments of doubts. My own anxiety was around the iconic status of the boat. I thought, what right do I have to go and mess up with a boat that is very well known for having been a resounding success, a boat that was incredibly beautiful, yet could take you and your family and your crew around the world in very safe conditions, and had lasted all this time, because most of the boats, the Swan 48s, are still happily sailing and in existence, very well looked after by their very proud owners. I think those boats are made to sail. Then everyone has a chance to be fully bodily able and to have an 8 crew at their disposal all the time. And if one thing we achieve with Younique is to put this boat back on the water and get it to sail most days, then I think that will put all my concerns to rest. I felt that the level of craft that the boatyard was displaying were the best I'd ever come across. And I mean by that the attention to details, the quality of the engineering, personal pride that they take in finding solutions, an attitude of where everything's possible and solutions are going to be found, as opposed to sticking to the boulevards or what they've done already. And I sensed in them, as I said, the same, if not frustration, the same curiosity to wonder why nobody had gone and done what we were planning to do. And it takes people who are incredibly competent and a bit mad to try to give their own vision of what it's going to be like. And it's just you don't find that easily. So I think there was a real fit in where we came from and what we wanted to do that I hadn't come across anywhere. Part of the exercise in both in engineering and aesthetics was paralleled by an exercise in the ergonomics of the boat. I really wondered, how do you move around when you're at the helm? Can you access most of the commands within arm's reach? If you have to move quickly around the boat, are all the surfaces at the same level, or are you going to trip? And if you want to put all the surfaces at the same level on a boat where none of the floorboards and none of the decks and bridges were at the same level to start with, that's a holistic vision of engineering and design. One of the things that I did not expect and that was incredibly valuable in my experience with Younique was the fact that I have a visual brain. I can look at 2D plan, 3D plans and make them out, but at some point you don't know whether it's going to work until you walk on it and bounce on it. And I would go to the yard in the middle of the winter, and I would have they would have built up a mock-up of the cockpit, or a mock-up of the interior out of plywood, and one goes around, test it. Some solutions work, some don't. I thought again that participates. I think I talked about madness before, a certain curiosity and a certain ambition about the boat looks like, but there's also a certain humility and modesty about understanding that your clients, not necessarily the athlete they wanted to be or they once were, and I think that to find the same interest, curiosity, and attention in that aspect of the design that it is in the fact that the boat goes fast or looks good. Again, I think that's a very rare skill that that Younique Yachts displayed for me. Working with Younique Yachts is an interesting, interactive, mutually enriching sort of method and project and experience. It is one in which the owner's thoughts and vision and curiosity and constraints feed into the process as part of a sort of virtuous loop all the time. That means that their own solutions integrate those constraints, integrate this vision, and come out on the other side, always being slightly enriched and amended by the owner's thoughts, and of course vice versa. And so we used to have weekly calls. I would be at the yard, once a month, and we'd exchange a lot of emails, lots of pictures, lots of videos, lots of plans, lots of sketches. And it feels like working with your own team that is dedicated to making your vision or your dream happen, with individuals who are incredibly good at what they do, and listen and find a way to share their own process, their own constraints, which is an amazing experience. And the project gets fed out of your own ideas, and whereby they try to make the best out of their own experience and engineering skills, with the fact they're going to create something just for you. So one question I get from friends is whether this experience was worth the money. And I'm reminded of similar questions one gets after, if like me, you live in London, you may get into the habit of going to finding your own tailor. And then a tailor takes your measurements. And then you may have 2 or 3 sessions in order for that to work. And then the tailor knows your morphology, they know what you like. It's a very long process. It can take a month. Can you walk into one of the large, famous top-end brand and get a suit right away? You probably can. I don't think the experience is quite the same. And I have no doubt you can go to many excellent boat yards in the world and get something very close to what we achieve with Younique Yachts. And that to the untrained eye, it would look like it might have been a better deal. But I've also no doubts that once you've actually paid attention to the way Younique crafts a boat for you, everything else in the harbor looks just a little lacking. If I was putting Younique today in competition with other boat yards to achieve the similar result that we've achieved together, I would have a hard time coming up with names to compete with them. This is the boat I've always wanted. This is the boat of my dreams, and she's now sailing. She's beautiful. She's a beauty to handle at the helm. And all this, certainly all this extraordinary time we spent on it together made sense.